Hi folks. So in this video I'm going to show you how to set up your charts to get ready to trade the signals that the Discord server is showing you. So the very first thing that you need to understand is to basically delete all existing indicators that you have on the chart. As you can see, I have no indicator on this side, I have no indicator on this side. You want to start with a blank slate because all the other indicators uh, that exist, like MACD, EMA, etc., we don't use any of them. You're welcome to use them, but for the sake of this introduction on how to set up, I want you to delete all the indicators from their chart. Then the other thing to understand is the signals that come on Discord server are multi timeframe signals. That means they have an essence of two time frames involved. So I want you to have two time frames set up on your trading view or MetaTrader or whatever you have. Of course, this tutorial only covers trading view. So um, on this side we have the higher time frame, which is 1 day or whatever the higher time frame you have, and on this side of the chart we have the lower time frame, for example 1 hour, 15 minutes, etc. So let's get both of these sides, the higher time frame and the lower time frame will have different indicators that we'll be using, the ones that we've shared in Discord, because they both have different purposes. We don't want higher time frame indicators on the lower time frame and vice versa. So going back, let's clean up the charts. And for the higher time frame, something else to mention, I don't know if you have a free account in TradingView, will you be able to split this into two views? I have a pro account, which is a paid subscription on TradingView. That's why I'm able to split. I think I can. I think I can only do two splits on the chart. I'm not sure what is the capability available in the free TradingView, so you might have to evaluate that. All right, let's focus our attention on the higher time frame on this side of the chart. Let me actually make it bigger so you can very clearly see. So this is the higher time frame, either 1 day, 4 hour, based on whatever you trade on from the Discord signal. So we are going to go to indicators and start looking for the indicators we need here are, you're going to search for makuchaku and you're going to add order blocks, fair value gaps, and there's going to be an indicator for liquidity as well. The third indicator would be liquidity. Once you set up your chart, this is how it's going to look like. Now what we want to do is so when a signal comes to you on the higher time frame chart, it is only going to use the elements from these indicators, that either it's going to be an order block, it's going to be a fair value gap, or it's going to be a liquidity reference that comes across. Nothing else is needed on the higher time frame chart. Now that we've set it up, let's switch our attention to the lower time frame charts on this side. So I'm going to expand that now. The indicators you need on the lower time frame charts are, obviously you need liquidity. So we're going to add makuchaku liquidity visualizer, and then you also need pivots and crossovers. So what we do is, once you set up your charts, they'll look like this. You'll have order blocks, fair value gaps, and liquidity on higher time frame, and you'll have liquidity and pivots and crossover on the lower time frame. The way we trade is we take the information of higher time frame, basic information from higher time frame like an order block or a fair value gap, and then we transpose that onto the lower time frame, but on the lower time frame only trade the pivot crossovers, and that makes us that makes it very easy on the lower time frame for us to understand what's going on, because lower time frame has more information, and you want to make sure that the less amount of information you have to perceive and parse through, the faster and more accurate your results would be. So let's take an example of how you would have taken a signal from Discord and implemented with the indicators that are available we just showed in the video. So let's assume this was the fair value gap that came up on the signal, and the signal came up at this time. Now let me just make the higher time frame bigger and slice the time there. When the signal would have come to us, that's how it would have looked. Now when we evaluate this from a range perspective, we draw the range, the signal would have automatically told us that it is a fair value gap sitting in premium, so it is a good fair value gap to sell from. So though that all information is available in the signal, you don't have to do any of that analysis yourself. Now once you draw this, you come back onto your lower time frame, and this is where the pivot and crossover indicator and the liquidity indicator that we added helps you very clearly visualize what's going on here. As you can see, the signal that would have come was this one. You would have drawn your zone, taken an entry, and this was a clear, I think it was a 2-hour win. It was a very clear 2-hour win. So you can see, I'll just make this one bigger. On the lower time frame, this was a liquidity grab, then it broke down, it created a bearish breaker, and in a different video I'll explain what a breaker is. And signal would have come at this point. You can see that this structure is much more complex than an order block and a fair value gap. But because you're not parsing order blocks and fair value gaps, you're using market structure break through pivots and fractals. It's very easy to understand what's going on once you see this happening, a green box being broken by a red box, and then you set up your entry and then basically trade from there. A beautiful 2-hour trade. So that's how, in short, you set up your charts to trade. Again, just a quick summary. On the higher time frame, on this side of the chart here, the indicators you need are order blocks, fair value gap, and liquidity. And then on the lower time frame, the indicators you need are liquidity and pivot crossovers. You don't need order blocks and fair value gaps on the lower time frame to trade, at least from the perspective that I'm showing you. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them in Discord.